Alright, so in case you guys didn't know already, we got the additional missions for the Water Wind Festival, and they are duel 20 times and win 10 duels, which this feels like a lot more than the previous missions we've had for earlier events, like win 10 and duel 20 times. Well, I mean, it is free gems, so it is what it is, and they appear to have given it early because we still have a full week to do all this, so it's probably fine. And the deck that I've been using so far to complete these missions is wait for it. Yes. Now you must be thinking, what the fuck is this? And you know, I don't blame you, because honestly, I'm not quite sure myself. If you have to give this deck a name, I would probably call it something like 60 card Grass, Shark, Armored Xyz, Jaws 4, Sharknado, some shit. Yeah. Now, am I cooking too much for this? Most likely, I am, because, you know, frankly, you're not supposed to cook sushi at all. So, you know, we already that ship has already sailed. Okay, I'm not no pun intended. So yeah, what is the idea of this deck? Like, what is the what possessed me to build sharks like this? So I guess I should answer the question: what does grass do for sharks? What is the synergy here? And the synergy is this card. So Ice Bear. You can banish this card from your graveyard, send a level 5 or higher water monster to the grave, and then add one level 5 or higher, and add any water monster in the grave to your hand. So basically, this just guarantees you that you have access to Abyss Shark, and Abyss Shark is the best card in the deck because it's a double extender, special summon itself, and you add literally any of these fish extenders or fish cards to your hand. And I know your next question must be, okay, so if the only synergy with grass is Ice Bear, that's not worth playing 60 cards just to mill a singular card with grass, right? And running 60 cards. You're probably right, but you know that's no fun. And you know that what is a festival if not to have fun trying to play Master Duel, right? Yeah, this is like this deck is basically me letting all my intrusive thoughts win, and as you can see with the ratios, I'm literally playing 3 of every good fish level 4 fish monster, because you know, fuck trying to find correct ratios to run the 40 card deck. I'm just gonna run all of it and see how it goes. So yeah, obviously there's more than just Ice Bear to benefit off of grass. You know, there's some cards that work with other cards. Obviously, Ice Bear is one of the only cards that works by itself when milled. But you know, if you mill, say, Crystal Shark is just a free extender, especially since this is a Water Wind Festival and the majority of your opponents are going to be on water monsters. Crystal Shark is has become like a much better extender than I've realized, because you can special summon this while you don't control any monsters, pretty much, because your opponent will most likely have water monster on their field, and then you can just target their water monster and then special summon the Crystal Shark as a free extender. Beyond that, White Mirror is a pretty insane card. This is Monster Reborn plus Rhoda in the same card, and obviously it requires you to have stuff in your grave. So you know, if you by milling a good portion of your grave, having, you know, White Mirror actually becomes a semi-reliable card to, you know, actually resolve and not just brick on. Now, fair warning, when you special summon a monster, you add after. You don't add and special summon the monster at the same time. You special summon the monster from grave and then you add the monster. So there are some cards in here such as Lifeless Leaffish and Lantern Shark that are old as hell, and because of that, they can miss timing if you summon them off White Mirror and you try to add another copy of them, especially for Lifeless Leaffish. So if you're gonna special summon if you're gonna reborn Leaffish with White Mirror, just don't add the Leaffish from your deck. Just if you want to actually summon it and use this effect to dump, usually something like a Crystal Shark. And Other synergies are, you know, if you mill Xyz Remora, when you eventually go through your armored Xyz line and full armored Dark Knight can add an Xyz card, any Xyz card from your graveyard back to your hand, and you know it's not just these aren't the only Xyz cards in here. Technically, Xyz Remora is an Xyz card. It literally has the same 3 letters, so you can add this back if it's in your grave, and this is the best extender. Also, guaranteed to be live if you resolve any, you know, if you resolve grass, because you know you're gonna have multiple fish in grave. Also, lifeless leaffish, you get a free draw every time you resolve grass as well, because lifeless leaffish has 3 fish to put back, 3 to draw 1, and you don't have to worry. You're still gonna have plenty of fodder in grave. One of the things. Okay, so one of the fish that's not really ran often is Gazer Shark. This card is honestly it's kind of ass. You don't need to run this, but basically this is a soul charge for 2 level 5 sharks. Now the problem is most level 5 sharks are not that good, and they don't really synergize with the, you know, the rank 4 Xyz strategy of sharks. You know, you have a Bitch Shark, you have Crystal Shark, and then the next best one is Dream Shark. And Dream Shark isn't even that great because, once again, Dream Shark, it's basically like Silent Angler plus Chiffana. If you control no monsters, or if you only control water monsters, you can special summon this. The problem is this is a level 5, so you can only use this to go into level 5 Xyz, such as Nash Knight and stuff. You can't use this to go into your Stealth Crag, and you can't use this to go into Bahamut Shark. And Bahamut Shark is how you do your armored Xyz plays. Now, speaking of armored Xyz plays, what happens if you mill armored Xyz with grass? Well, I mean, you just don't do your armored Xyz plays. That's it. Ideally, you do your armored Xyz plays first, get these out of your deck, and then you resolve grass. Obviously, it doesn't work that way because if you've probably like gathered like a guess, this is a blind second deck, so oftentimes you may not resolve your armored Xyz combo if you go for it first before, you know, having access to grass. So in that case, yeah, just hope you don't mill both. If you mill one, you can still do your armored Xyz plays. You go Bahamut Shark into Xyz Armor Torpedo, and you simply put the Xyz Armor Fortress on top of the torpedo, and then you add the one that's still left in your deck. It's only really bad if you mill both of them. And I know I'm speaking a lot like a lot of your games are going to involve grass because this is a one of in a 60 card deck. So how often is grass going to be actually part of your game plan? Well, we do have 3 thrust, but I'm also running 3 left arm offering. Now this is probably not correct, but you know what? The way this deck works is that you can just use all your fish cards, all your fish summons, special summon extenders out of your hand, all that stuff, and then if your opponent has answer to all of those, then when you're down to 3 cards, you just left arm for grass or left arm for you don't even need to left arm for grass. You can maybe left arm for like a Wide Mirror or Foolish Barrel Goods even. If your opponent is on a 60 card deck and they're paying Paleo, then that gets you a final push, because then that gets you another extender to help push through. By the way, this deck pushes through boards like it's butter. Unless you're getting floodgated by like a Raiho, then you can play through almost any amount of interaction. This deck is crazy now because every normal summon demands an answer, like Buzzsaw Shark or Leaffish, because these all represent 2 bodies. And if you have a body on board, even if it's negated, you get the special summon Infinite from your hand. So your opponent always has to try to rid your field of water monsters, and that's hard to do when you have grass. When grass gives you more extenders, one of them is also Night Sword Servant. That's also special summon itself sent to the grave by card effect. So there's one, and then you know, Crystal Shark again being an extender that you can just summon without controlling a monster in this format. Dream Shark, at the end of the day, you can just Ice Spear for Dream Shark if you just need to get a monster on field to make your plays lives. And Fishberg Harpooner. This card is absolutely insane. It is a tuner. That part doesn't really come up. I'll be honest. For a long time I didn't even know that this was a tuner. I just covered all my extra and saw that I had an option to go into a synchro, and I was like, wait, what? This is a tuner? But the main point is that this lets you summon any fish monster that's maybe stuck in your hand out of your hand. So for example, all of these broken normal summons, Beautiful Princess, Buzzsaw Shark, Lively Leaf Fish, all of these, again, as mentioned before, if you resolve their effect, they get you 2 buys on the field. The downside is that they're normal summon line, so if you have multiples in your hand, they're dead, right? That's not the case with Harpooner, because now you at any time you can actually just search Harpooner, or if you have Harpooner, you can actually Abyss Shark, search an additional normal summon, then use Harpooner to summon another one of these normal summons out of your hand. If, for example, your opponent disrupted your first one, or if you just happen to draw into another one. Like you'll see in the replays, this card comes in clutch multiple times just to get cards that would normally be dead because you drew them after you already committed to your plays. It turns those cards into the best extenders for the situation. So yeah, this card is definitely 100% better than any other extender I would use to run in this place. It's better than Fauna, it's better than non-water monsters, it's better than Sea Netto, it's better than White Stingray, which was literally just Harpooner, except it can't special summon the monster from your hand. Yeah, get one Gamma Seal. Again, Gamma Seal it's a level 5 or higher water, which means it's searchable at any time with Ice Spirit as well. So that's nice. I never searched for this, so you probably don't honestly need this, to be honest. You know, you could run more non-engine. Speaking of the non-engine, oh yeah, Foolish gets any of these into the grave, and we obviously run the one Foolish Spiritual Goods because thank you Tier Elements once again for getting this card limited. Yeah, one from Desires. I don't care if I banish all of my Garnets roll. I get two cards in hand. That's 2 extenders. I can do whatever I want with those bodies. Yeah, the non-engine is 3 Lightning Storm, Thrust, 1 Tactics, Talon. So this is honestly just for like an out to. It's a searchable out off Thrust for Lancia. For example, if I open something like Lightning Storm, they have like an Eagerine, or if they don't have an Eagerine, they just trigger Lancia to summon a Trish, or you know, if basically anytime my opponent plays into Thrust, I can always just Thrust into a Talons and then remove like the threat of Lancia or Raiho or whatever the hell it's the problem. Droplets is insane in this deck because you have a lot of things with grave effects, like again Crystal Shark, but specifically Ice Barrier. Ice Barrier plus Droplet is like an FTK against almost every deck because you're gonna negate their most important thing, and then you get to search the best card in your deck with Ice Barrier for free. Like, if you open these two together, like you should just win the game on the spot. And Ultimate Slayer. So I only have 2 of this, but this card absolutely destroys the Ice Barrier loner deck. You Ultimate Slayer their Lancia, send Packbit, use Packbit, split another monster back. You destroyed their whole board off of 1 card. And 1 discard. And the discard is a lot of times the discard is beneficial again because you have so many cards that you want in the grave. So yeah, then we have the Armor Exceeds package, and for the extra deck. So Packbit is an Ultimate Slayer target. Now you can make this aforementioned with Harpooner because this is a tuner, and the card Crystal Shark, Buzzsaw Shark, and Lantern Shark lock you into Xyz, so oftentimes you don't have the option to actually go into Packbit, but if you use something else like, I don't know, a Leaf Fish, then you can actually hard make Packbit. Now, I wouldn't really recommend that because Packbit doesn't synergize with a lot of your stuff, and it's honestly, using Harpooner to discard a card and then Packbit to discard another card, sometimes, you know, if you don't have the good discards, it's not really worth it to reduce your hand size that much. But yeah, Bahamut plus Xyz Armor Torpedo. This is how you get your Armor Xyz going. You go Bahamut Shark into this, and then you overlay Armor Fortress over Bahamut. Then you detach 2, add both of these to your hand, and then you summon. You full armor Utopic Ray Lancer over the Xyz Torpedo. The summoning condition of this card is you can discard a spell and trap and overlay it on top of a rank 4 or lower Xyz monster, and discard. All your opponent's monsters do 500 attack. This negates all your opponent's attack with this monster effect in the battle phase, and it can attack twice. It can attack. It can, after it destroys a monster, it has like the BLS effect where it can detach and attack again. Now, oftentimes you will discard full armor Xyz, so you can get another material attached to your Xyz monster and get an additional bonus and do more damage. But if you happen to, you don't have to discard this. You can also discard any spell shot, which means that you can use at any time you can make a rank 4, you always have a way to pitch Ice Spirit out of your hand. This card, this is one of the key new additions to this deck that make it play much more smoothly, is that you at any point you can have a discard for Ice Barrier, which means, and then obviously discarding Ice Barrier, getting into the grave, that's where you want it. Then it becomes, the roller for basically every monster in your deck. Yeah, one Dweller, honestly, when you're blinding second, Dweller doesn't really come up that often. Honor Arc, it's pretty decent. It's a non-destruction effect on a rank 4, so you can use this to eat up a Lancia and they won't trigger the summon Trish. It also can be used to overlay. You can overlay both Utopic Ray Lancer and Xyz Armor Forges on top of this, so after it uses effect, so it's not just sitting there being useless. It has utility even after it uses its effect. One Kraken, one spawn. Again, the one spawn kind of hurts, but you're blinding second, so you're not really sitting on a Kraken that often, so you don't really have the opportunity to summon that many spawns in the first place. Like you're in the game when you summon Kraken, basically. You're not trying to float with it or anything. And then I own the Nash package, so Nash into C Nash into Cyan Honor Arc. So this is a suck. This is a suck, and then Full Armor Dark Knight also becomes a suck when you have it combined with any armor Xyz card. So you have the triple suck. You essentially suck your opponent 3 times. And honestly, you don't even want to suck your opponent that often, because you want your opponent to control one monster so that you can attack over them twice and then do additional damage that way. But your opponent is never gonna be able to chunk block your board, because you have 3 non-targeting sucks as your removal, and there's nothing that's like immune to that. Even Magic Specters, targeting protection, who cares? None of these sucks target. And Crystal Lancer, so this has an effect where this randomly negates all face-up monster your opponent controls, so that's actually relevant. But also this is meant to give an extra material onto Full Armor Dark Knight so that you can get extra detaches for Xyz Remora. Yeah. Did I mention anything about this? Needs to be said. Yeah, I mentioned they can add Xyz Remora back from the grave, right? Yeah, and Horror Enemy, again, this is an ultimate Slayer target. I don't think you ever summon this, but there are instances, for example, if you have the tactics to take your opponent's monster early and you haven't been Xyz locked yet, you can easily make Horror Enemy revive back something and then combo from there, and then Xyz just lock yourself afterwards. Never done that, but can come up. And honestly, the best part about this deck is that Ash is banned, so you're never gonna get FTK'd by your left arm offering or your grass getting ashed, because that card doesn't exist. And also, Ash is the only way to stop the Discharge, and because once it summons itself, it's the effect to summon and add is the simultaneous. It's like from your hand, it's not on the field, so they can't imperm this. The only way to stop this is with Ash, and obviously there is no Ash in this format, so that's great. The non-engine card, the hand trap, that's the strongest against this deck, is banned, so that's another buff. It's actually it's really hard to stop this deck from just swarming your opponent and just straight up OTKing them most of the time, which I'll show you now, I suppose. So here we're going second, and our opponent knows that because we win the coin flip. Because obviously we're gonna win the coin flip when we're playing a go second deck, right? And our opponents, at first I was like, I saw Beautiful Prince and I got excited. Then I saw the paces. I'm like, oh, it's just Ghoti. So we're gonna set up their entire board because we don't run any hand traps. It's all about just breaking their board, and they have a Keith, paces, and Snopios in hand, and then a shift, and we have no non-engine, so we're gonna have to play into this board like a man. So normal Buzzsaw, and Buzzsaw is gonna get, after the standard Ghoti taking 5 minutes to synchro summon on my turn, they're gonna go into Ascon and Ascon my Buzzsaw Shark. So there goes the Buzzsaw Shark. My normal summon's gone, but we can easily extend past that. So first I'm gonna summon Dream Shark after they do all their stuff. So yeah, for Ariane, the Ascon comes back, summon Dream Shark, and then they're gonna banish it with Keith, summon back their Tuna, and they're gonna once again continue playing on my turn more than I play. They'll Leaf Fish. Now I'm gonna go left arm for grass. Grass and a dream. Get it twisted. We are gambling our way out of this. And what do we mill? So we mill basically everything that's beneficial for us. There's a Leaf Fish draw, so we're gonna draw 3 cards off Leaf Fish, and I put back an Angler, Harpooner, and another Angler, draw into Tuna Princess. We already used my normal summon, so it's kind of bad, right? Well, wait for it. First, we use Ice Barrier. I will Ice Barrier for dumping Gazer Shark to add Abyss Shark. Then use Crystal Shark, targeting the Ascon special summon the Crystal Shark. Now, Crystal Shark is weird where you target a water monster in the field, you special summon this, and if you do, you have the opponent's monster. So they couldn't chain, shift the synchro with the Ascon to deny the Crystal Shark, because the attack reduction is the part that occurs after the summon. So we just get the Crystal Shark on field for free, which then makes our Abyss Shark fly. Abyss Shark adds Harpooner, and you can see what we're doing with this Harpooner. But first, they don't know what's in our hand, so I'm going to bait out as many interruptions as I can. Go into Sign Honor Arc, get Infirm, which is fine. So now we're going to go into Armored Exceeds Fortress. So we milled the trap, but we didn't mill the spell, so we can still do this. Go into Armored Exceeds, and then go into Full Armor Crystal Ray Lancer. This will bait out the rest of their field. And they wait. They don't shotgun shift, which is a mistake, because now I'm going to negate their field. And even if they chain their shift now to make it Deep Beyond, their Deep Beyond is getting negated because of how the chain works. So yeah, because of them fumbling and like waiting too long on the shift, now we get a Full Armor Dark Knight for free. And Full Armor Dark Knight now adds back Exceeds Remora. And now literally we can do a full combo entire board off of 1 grass. So we're gonna attach, and then that's gonna have the Dark Knight suck the Dark Beyond, special Exceeds Remora, detaching the Dark Beyond, the Deep Beyond, and to summon 2 more. Summon Stealth Kraken, the Gazer, use Fishfork Harpooner, the special summoning Beautiful Princess. Now Beautiful Princess can trigger to special summon Leaf Fish. Leaf Fish will dump Crystal Shark. Gazer Shark is now live because I have 2 level 5 Sharks in the grave, so it's going to summon Abyss Shark and Gazer Shark. These are going to go into Nash Knight, into Sea Nash, into Honor Dark. And we did this entire thing. All of this was off of 1 single grass. 1 grass. And now, no matter what they do, they're dead. They're gonna Snowpios and trigger Snowpios, but I'm just going to chain Stealth Kraken on Snowpios so it doesn't get banished and they lose a bunch of life points. And, they're gonna summon back Sykes, add Minaruka, and I'm just gonna enter Battle Phase. Battle Phase, Damage Step, use Full Armor Dark Knight. Minaruka can't trigger because it's a Damage Step, and attack for game. Full, we've withstood Ascon Dark, Deep Beyond, Infirm with just a single grass and a dream. So here's the game. Once again, win the coin flip on a blind second deck, the classic. So our opponent knows we're a blind second deck, but they're playing the Ice Barrier Loner, so what? They're not really going to change their plays because what are they going to do? Not make synchros? But anyways, this showcases the power of Forbidden Droplets. We drew Forbidden Droplets, Ice Barrier, plus a chainable spell. This is basically Exodia. Because the Loner deck does not have Spellbreaker, they're gonna get blown out by this combination of cards. So they're gonna make Packbit for some reason. Packbit, it's an interesting choice because they're gonna go Lancey and then Packbit summons itself, plays itself back. And I'm thinking this is actually a cool play until they summon Packbit out. I'm like, why would you summon Packbit out? Now you can't get its discard effect to place my monster. But they had 2 spell traps they wanted to set in the first place. So I guess I guess they value one of the spell traps more than the Packbit interruption, but whatever. Anyways, because of that, now I'm gonna Desires. I'm gonna chain Droplet, send Ice Barrier, send Desires, and this is yeah, Lancey has gone. This is so many resources. Normal summon Lantern Strike gets Infirm. Do not care one bit. Do not care whatsoever. So I'm going to use the Ice Barrier Engrave now that we dumped for free with the Droplets, and gonna add Stump and add Abyss Shark, special Abyss Shark. Play freely. Add a Harpooner. Harpooner, discard show Buzzsaw Shark, special summon the Buzzsaw Shark anyway, get the Crystal Shark from deck. So even though you, again, negated on the Lantern Shark, but the Harpooner lets you summon the Buzzsaw Shark out of my hand anyways. And lets you play through an interruption for free. And now Nash Knight comes out, gonna suck the Lancia. And now we're gonna rank up into Nash Knight, into Honor Dark, and we're gonna suck the Coral Dragon. And now we're gonna put these two into Bahamut Shark. Now we're gonna do the Armored Xyz line. So Bahamut Shark and Torpedo, put Xyz Armor Fortress over the Torpedo Fortress, add Armored Xyz, go into Crystal Lancer, go into Dark Knight Lancer, and here you notice I have Xyz or more, I have Angler in hand. Am I gonna use these? No, I don't need to use these. Because I can just use Lancer to add back the Armored Xyz and then attach Torpedo. I can suck it again if I want, but I don't want to because I just want to attack, and I attack directly. So OTK has the Lancia and an Imperm with two extenders in my hand that I haven't used. That these extenders represent 4 bodies that I have access to that I just did not need at all. So yeah, this deck, crazy swarming abilities. Yeah. Well, man, look at all these coin flips I'm winning with my going second deck. It's classic. So our opponent this time is on Flu, and their hand is really cracked. How do you just open map plus Rabina hard in this event? Like, you sicko. So yeah, obviously you're gonna add Eaglin, and then you're gonna add the counter trap. So they have map plus counter trap still in this setup, and we have Droplet. So Droplet is actually very good in this scenario, because first I'm gonna Desires, draw 2, see what do you draw into. We draw into Thrust, excellent. So I'm gonna normal summon Lantern Shark, trigger Lantern Shark. That's gonna trigger the map, and you're gonna summon Rabina, trigger Rabina, and trigger Eagle, and I'm just going to Droplet the Rabina. So to stop them from any of the tribute summoning plays, dumping the dead Night Sword Serpent, except nope, they open Judgment as well. Rabina map Judgment going in the event. So yeah, pretty nice. Now I'm gonna have to sit here and wait for my opponent to do their plays. And yeah, Eaglin add Ryza, and the Ryza is gonna summon. And here's where they mess up. So they're gonna Ryza, target Lantern Shark, and a Night Sword Serpent, and a Buzzsaw Shark. The problem is, alright, wait for it. They put the Buzzsaw Shark in my hand for some reason, even though I haven't used it yet. That's a mistake. That's literally gonna cost them the game. So first, because now they're out of their interruptions, they're out of their map summons, I get to use my Thrust, add Duster, and now I get to clear the backfield, clear that counter trap out of here. Nobody needs to see that. And now I will Foolish Burial Goods for Ice Spear, add Abyss Shark. And then when you resolve Abyss Shark, you can do anything in the game. Because now I have I harp on Dream Shark, so Dream Shark lets me just special summon it for free, and that'll let Abyss Shark be live. Guess what we're adding? Fishbroke Harpooner. Harpooner is going to summon back the Buzzsaw Shark that I never got to use. And these two are going to go into, there's plenty of ways to go in the game, but we're just keeping it simple because our opponent Judgmented and they're at 4k. So we're just going to suck that end pin right up and go into Honor Dark just for the attack points. And Buzzsaw Shark, summon out another level 4, go into Stealth Kraken, Royal, Burn, and attack for game. Thanks for doing half your life points damage for me and making it simple. Alright. Of course, we're gonna win the coin flip again, and need I say more? All 4 games I've showed so far are just about me winning the coin flip as a blind second deck. So opponents I'm playing Marincess, and as a Marincess player, I know this is gonna take a hot minute, and yeah, they're gonna special summon. By the way, I know this isn't a Marincess video, but they normal summon Spring Girl, linked it off into Blue Suck to add the Spring Girl back, and then just happened to mill Pascalis, and then banished the Pascalis for Spring Girl, which tells me they didn't have Seahorse, they didn't have a monster this extend if they didn't mill a Marincess monsters. They relied on milling a Marincess monster off the Spring Girl to extend. What the hell are these crackhead plays? But obviously, you know, never punished, and Sea Angel's gonna add Battle Ocean, and then, you know, Splash Mage. Interesting decision. Splash Mage bring back Spring Girl, Horn Enemy, bring back Splash Mage, activate Battle Ocean, and then go into Aqua Arcanaut. So they must have had no other extenders apparently, and yeah, you're gonna add the Spring Girl back, and yeah, set. Man, they got so lucky off of the mill. I can't believe they milled the one card to make we can do this play. Anyways, does not matter because we have 3 cards they have to negate. So I'm going to Pot of Desires, banish 10. They're gonna negate that. Big mistake. Big mistake. So now I'm gonna Lightning Storm their back row. Get rid of that Imperm. Normal summon Buzzsaw Shark. A Buzzsaw Shark, get Remora. These two go into Bahamut Shark, and they got no more responses. So now we're going to Buzzsaw Shark into Armored Fortress into add both. We're gonna add Armored Exceeds because we drew we're gonna add full armor because we hard drew the Armored Exceeds. All of these replays, by the way, I just hard drew or milled one of these, and so I never got to do the add both of them for free. But you know what? It's what it is. And then they're gonna draw. Nice draw. You cut off my left arm armoring, so you know I can't left arm, but this is already game on board, more than enough. So we're gonna Crystal Zero. Like, this draw does hurt. Don't get me wrong. It denies an Ice Barrier Search and it denies a left arm armoring. Actually, no, it doesn't even deny an Ice Barrier Search. You know why? Because Ice Barrier dumps the card to grave, then adds back from the grave. So I can actually do Ice Barrier on this. Not that I do, because I don't need it, because I can just full armor Dark Knight, add back the Exceeds Aurora, discard 1, go into the full Utopic, equip the Torpedo to the full armor, and then suck their Horn Enemy. Normal summon, special Exceeds Aurora, by the way. I don't even have the requirements to like summon it back, because this is already game. This setup, our Fortress Torpedo on a full armor Dark Knight, is a double battle damage and can attack twice. And this is already 82 into an 1800 Marincess, so I actually had access to even more plays that I didn't realize under that roll. But again, it's not necessary. Just 2 level 4s does all of this. So they don't even stop this basic play, then they would already lose. But if they did have a stop this play, we had more extenders waiting in the wing too. So yeah, this deck, hopefully I've shown with these replays just the infinite amount of like bodies that this deck generates into however many exceeds you wanna make in your turn. So yeah, if you own the basic Shark Core, which honestly as far as UR goes is just Tragon and the full armor exceeds package, then give this deck a shot. You know, throw in a bunch of blind second board breakers and toss in the grass and just dismantle your opponent's boards for free, OTK them out of nowhere. And I guarantee you nobody you play in this event is gonna know what the hell is going on when you activate grass. I wish I could see the looks on my opponent's faces when I activate grass and they see all these sharks going to the grave, and they must be like, what the hell is this man cooking? And then like 5 minutes later they're like, oh shit, I'm dead. Yeah, I mean, if you don't want to play sharks, you know, if you don't want to cook as hard as I've tried for this event, you know, that's fine. I have plenty of other decks that I've played for this event that I've done videos on that you can try. You know, I just haven't. This is my event. I apparently own a bunch of viable decks for this event, so go check those out if you're looking for decks to play to finish off these missions and you don't want to continue playing the Ice Barrier Loner again for, you know, 20 more games.